Welcome to the 28th staging of the Carlton Alexander Bursary Awards. The GraceKennedy Foundation is proud and honored to host this very special family event. For those of you who are not aware, when Carlton Alexander passed in 1989, the Carlton Alexander Memorial Fund was established, and that had three aspects to it. The first was an annual scholarship to graduates of... Were you the first? No. Was the scholarship to graduates of Jamaica College. Are you a JC graduate? Okay. Oh, I see. And the endowment of a Carlton Alexander chair in management to the University of the West Indies, and this bursary scheme to the children of the staff of GraceKennedy. And I was thinking how fitting it is for those bursaries to be given in the name of Carlton Alexander, because for those of you, I don't know, there are many here, but he was a man who was beloved by staff. And I even remember going to a staff function where you would get a standing ovation. He was a very charismatic man and also had very high standards for and expected very high achievement standards of his staff. So the naming of the bursaries is obviously very fitting. The bursaries are awarded based on outstanding academics. These are how the candidates are chosen: active participation in co-curricular activities and strong leadership within their school community. And they're renewed yearly after reports are provided to confirm that the recipients have maintained an acceptable standard of performance. And so we're confident that you will continue to do well and remain on the program right through up until your graduation. So congratulations. I wonder if those recipients for this year's Bursary Awards could stand. Congratulate them for me. That's wonderful. Thank you very much. And we also have here another group, and these are the students for whom bursaries are being renewed. Can we have those persons please stand? I'm sorry? Oh, they all stood. I see. All right, that's fine. Well, we welcome you as well. And I know the parents didn't stand, but I want to congratulate them. Would the parents, the staff, please stand? Those whose children are receiving awards. That's wonderful. I'm sure Caroline knows all of you. Yes? And thank you for providing the motivation and guidance and reinforcement that our children need to do well. As they become, even as they get older and become more independent, they continue to need your counsel and guidance. And parental support and guidance really are the foundations of children's successes. I don't know if you heard recently in the news about those Calabar students who the principal does not want to go on to fifth form because they haven't done that well in fourth. And a lot of people are saying they wonder, even with proper school intervention, you wonder whether really it's the home that needs to intervene more in terms of guaranteeing the success of our students. Corporate foundations really are about the business of doing good works. They are the philanthropic arm of the parent company. And GraceKennedy Foundation, our aim really is to create, one of them is to create environmentally sustainable programs and promote healthy lifestyles, and in this case, increase access to education for Jamaicans. And so by doing these things, we fulfill our mission by supporting the role that GraceKennedy plays as a corporate citizen within Jamaica. I just want to say a few things about the, there's so many, but I'll say a few things about what the foundation does. We fund 2 professional chairs at the University of the West Indies, one in environmental management and one in management studies. And both provide needed research and innovation for Jamaica and the wider Caribbean. We give out a lot of money in annual scholarship programs for tertiary students. We'll be interviewing them actually this month of September. Our contributions to tertiary scholarships total and exceed $20 million a year, which is a lot, and continues to produce outstanding graduates, some of whom actually return and work at GraceKennedy. Our environmental initiatives, I know Caroline is extremely proud of these. A belief really that we are doing our bit in changing attitudes of staff and students. The foundation leads the company in activities that include a recycling program in 9 schools within the corporate area and 10 subsidiaries across the group. And participation also in the International Coastal Cleanup Day, which I believe is September 15th. And I'm sure Caroline would love to extend an invitation for you all to help out on that day. Last year, GraceKennedy was the largest corporate collector at any single site at that event, and we hope to achieve that again this year. And in addition, this is new, we are currently working to develop a project that will tackle the solid waste and pollutants entering Kingston Harbor. I don't know if you know the extent to which this is a huge problem, but it is. And our Clean Kingston initiative aims to bring together local and international partners in the public and private sector to transform Kingston Harbor to its former glory. The foundation also coordinates the GraceKennedy Jamaican Birthright Program. I'm sure you've seen that in the news. It's a professional cultural internship that targets 2nd and 3rd generation university students who live abroad. They come to Jamaica for a month during the summer and work at GraceKennedy, and we engage them in activities aimed at full immersion into Jamaican culture. Some of them have never been to Jamaica before, but they are children of Jamaicans who live abroad. So you can imagine what that immersion must be like. Our annual lecture series continues to provide a platform for discussion. This year's lecture, Tech Charge, was presented by Dr. Paris Liu Ai, who is a director of GraceKennedy. And it looked at the impact of big data and artificial intelligence on our economy and educational system. It's fascinating and worth watching, and it's available on YouTube. This is new as well. We're in the process of establishing a food bank at the University of the West Indies campus to address the issue of malnutrition and affects many university students. We're also negotiating a partnership with the newly formed Stroke Foundation of Jamaica initiative to promote healthy lifestyles to reduce the incidence of non-communicable diseases like strokes and heart attacks. Our vision is to become a world-class corporate foundation for the advancement of a well-educated and healthy population in Jamaica. A corporate foundation of a company that's the size and stature of GraceKennedy, I believe, is capable of effecting lasting and sustainable change in Jamaica. Awarding scholarships is just one such way. It is a means by which we can make a difference by transforming lives and providing opportunities for individuals and communities. So our thanks go out to the team at GraceKennedy Foundation. It still amazes me how much they do and with what passion and love they do it. And so our great thanks to Caroline Mafood and her staff of Crystal Gale Williams and Marjorie Godfrey for their hard work and dedication. And again, congratulations to the parents and to the awardees for earning these prestigious bursaries in the name of one of our giants, the Honorable Selwyn Carlton Alexander. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Fred. I don't know if any of you know this, but Mr. Jimmy Solomon, actually, were you the youngest person to swim across the harbor? And do you know, still am, still is. And, you know, you really would not even want to put your foot in the harbor right now. So we really do want to get it back to the glory. And then I'll make the record of that. 56 years ago. Incredible, incredible. So now I would like to invite Mrs. Gail Solomon to come forward, and she's the General Counsel and Chief Corporate Secretary for GraceKennedy Limited, and she's going to bring greetings for us.
Thank you very much, Caroline. I think Mr. Solomon would swim across the harbor again today if you gave him the opportunity. He would say, "Pollution be damned, I can do it." Good afternoon, everyone. Special greetings to the chairman, Mr. Fred Kennedy. We're happy to have you here. And to your directors, Catherine and Shaluk, and of course your executive director, Caroline. And also to Director Jimmy Solomon, who is also the chairman of the Grace and Staff Foundation and is also my father-in-law. But to all of the awardees and to your parents that stand behind you, to Marjorie and Crystal Gale, who keep the wheels turning, and of course to the media or friends in the media, good afternoon and thank you all for being here. And to Stefan, who is our guest speaker, I'm so excited. Did I leave out anybody? Oh, of course, my apologies, Mr. Alexander. I saved the best for last. So of course, we are so proud and honored to have the son of Mr. Alexander here in Edward Telly Alexander. So welcome and thank you very much. So it is my job today to start with apologies from our group CEO, and I'll let you all in a little secret. So even though I'm an attorney, you know, lawyers love to talk. I don't love to talk at all. So my boss, our group CEO, knows, though, that I don't love to talk. But he also knows that if he says it has something to do with children or education, those are my soft spots, and I'm not going to tell him no. So anytime you see me standing up here for the group CEO, it's something to do with children or education. So all of us in here know Mr. Webby well, and he really is passionate about the things we are doing today. He's passionate about education. He's passionate about Jamaica. He's passionate about young people. And so he would absolutely want to be here, but it was unavoidable. And so you have me. So apologies on behalf of Mr. Webby. It really is an honor and a privilege for me. I can't believe it's September already. I can't believe that my children are going back to school next week and all of you are heading off. But we have the pleasure today of honoring the legacy of Carlton Alexander by awarding 20 bursaries, which I think is an incredible number, as we assist with the educational expenses for the upcoming school year. And many of you would be very familiar with the life and career, the stellar career of Carlton Alexander, who started out as a stock clerk. That story in and of itself is incredible. And it's a testament to what hard work, dedication, and tenacity can do. But apart from his incredible career, he's also known for his values. Yes, and Mr. Kennedy also for his charisma. He's definitely known for that. But also for his values and his commitment to young people and to education. The other day I was in a doctor's office and they said, "Where you work?" And I said, "GraceKennedy." And they said, "Do you know that I was a summer worker at GraceKennedy?" And I had the opportunity to meet with Mr. Alexander for something. And I told him about my sister who had gotten a scholarship to study medicine in the US. But she had 1 year left, and say she had 1 year left, and the scholarship was 4 years, so she had 1 year left. And Mr. Alexander said, "Tell her to come and see me on Monday." And she did. And she went on to be funded by GraceKennedy, no strings attached, for the next 3 years as she completed her medical degree and went on to do further studies. And so, of course, that entire family is now committed to GraceKennedy. Wherever they go, they hold the GraceKennedy flag high. And I see Frank cringing because he's saying those kind of things can't necessarily fly today. But no, we're very proud of that legacy. And the company continues to live by those values. When I think about, when people hear Solomon, they assume that I've been a part of the GraceKennedy family a long time. But the truth is that, as I said, Jimmy is my father-in-law. I'm a white man. So I always used to admire GraceKennedy as a child. We had amazing ads, amazing products. And then when I became an adult, I would admire GraceKennedy as a corporate entity. I'm a lawyer, so all of these winning of corporate governance awards, I found that very impressive. And when I thought about joining the company, or when the opportunity came up, I said, boy, I wonder if I'm going to be disappointed because, see me and come live with me is two different things. But I have to say that having been a part of the company for 2 years, the values of honesty, integrity, and trust, the values of Carlton Alexander that have been ingrained as part of the DNA of the company still very much form a part of the company from the very top to the bottom. It's a part of our DNA. So I think that we can be very proud of that. And I think that what we all should remember is that Jamaica needs more of that. We need more honesty. We need more integrity. We need more commitment to stick-to-itiveness. We need more people to believe that you can come in as a clerk and end up as chairman of the company. And so I want to really commend not only the all of us who have worked together to maintain this system and to continue this program, but all of you in here, you young people who are doing incredibly well, keeping your averages at a B average and above, and of course the parents who are standing behind you. So on that note, there is a video that we're going to try. Pardon us if it doesn't work, but there is a video that I wanted to share with you all.
Running into the gorge because of the hyenas chasing them. This was all part of Scar's plan, So, when Scar used Simba as bait so he used Simba to kill Mufasa and then banded Simba, and then he met Timon and Pumbaa, and after years. Oh, they're his friends.
Yeah, but who are they? Are they lions, hyenas, or what?
No, it's a warthog and a meerkat.
Oh.
And so, warthogs aren't pigs.
Thank you for indulging me, and thank you to the technical team for making it happen. So that little girl, her name is Elsie. I don't know if you guys know her. She's famous. Okay, the parents might not know her, but I know the young people know her. The students know her. She's famous. And her parents are Nicole McLaren Campbell, who is an educator and a motivational speaker, and her daddy is Agent Sasko. Everybody knows who Agent Sasko is, right? And we are proud. He's a member of the GraceKennedy family. He's a FGB ambassador. And so I show that video because, well, one, it's so cute and funny, and Elsie is just incredibly bright. But two, it shows what we all need to do more of, which clearly you guys are doing well already because you're all in here. But we all need to support our children to the best of our ability so that they can be the best they can be. I mean, when I look at that video, I see much more than a cute little girl telling us about Timon and Pumbaa and the Lion King. It's about family values. It's about the family having dinner. This little girl who is like 4 years old, having the ability and being encouraged to share with her family, being told that she can be anything she can be, that she's clearly confident, she's clearly motivated. And this is something that they do all the time. They sit down and they have dinner together, they share good times, and they get supported, and she's in a loving environment that allows her to go to school and perform to the best of her ability. So I know I'm preaching to the choir because I know that the parents in here, clearly because your children are doing so well, you're doing all of this and more. And I have to single out Arlene Davis, who is, she's never going to speak to me again after this. But Arlene is my support, and her son Stefan is our guest speaker today, and her daughter, and he's a previous scholar, and her daughter Ayanna is as well. And I think about it sometimes, and I say, how does Arlene manage to work with me? And I put her under so much pressure, and yet still she can deliver that kind of LC home environment to allow Stefan and Ayanna to thrive. They're laughing. But Arlene and all the parents, I just really want to salute you for the incredible job that you're doing, and to say that it's a charge to all of us, that if we want Jamaica to be a better place for all of us to live, to reach to its full potential, then we all have a role to play. Students, you have to do the very best you can in school. This opportunity is not to be wasted. It doesn't come your way all the time. You have a limited time. Do the absolute best that you can so that you can be a part of building a better Jamaica for all of us. We're counting on you. And to the parents, keep on doing what you're doing to support the children, because they are our future. Our group CEO says all the time, and he always credits the author. And he always says, what is good for Jamaica is good for GraceKennedy. And I think that's so true, and it's a profound statement. Carlton Alexander was famous for saying that. And I think it's something that all of us need to really ponder on and incorporate in our everyday lives, that if we do things to make ourselves better, to make our communities better, to make our homes better, to make our schools better, to make our workplace better, then Jamaica will be a better place. The world will be a better place for all of us. So, again, young people, take your education very seriously. This is what is going to equip you to make the best choices in your life, to really come and maybe one day be the chairman of GraceKennedy. So, thank you all so much, and good afternoon. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you very much, Gail. I must say, my son was at the same prep school as Gail's daughter, and she also sets a really great example, because as you can imagine, her workload is pretty intense, right? But she's there. She has special days for drop-offs, pickups, things like that. And I went to a concert the other day, and whose daughter was a star dancer of the whole thing. Like, I couldn't believe it. I mean, in the junior program, and it just is a testimony also to her commitment to raising her children the best way she can. So I hope you all are very inspired. I'm extremely inspired already. Right now, we're going to have Gabrielle Finley come forward, and she is a grade 11 student at Wilmer's Trust High School for Girls, and she's going to introduce our guest speaker for today. Come on up.
A pleasant good afternoon, everyone. I am Gabrielle Finley, and a recipient of the Carlton Alexander Bursary Award, and I am honored to be given this task of introducing the guest speaker for today. Stephen Peterson is a final year student at the University of the West Indies, UMona, where he is pursuing a major in molecular biology and a minor in computer science. A past student of St. Peter and Paul Preparatory School and Campion College, his academic achievement has earned him the Carlton Alexander Bursary Award each year from 2009 to 2016. In his CXC examinations, he obtained 7 grade 1s and a grade 2 in CSEC and 7 grade 1s and a grade 2 in CAPE, placing second in the region for Unit 2 Computer Science. While at Campion College, Stefan was a part of a wide range of clubs, including Readers Association, Key Club, where he served as director, chairperson, and vice president; Karate Club, where he served as secretary; and Science Club, where he served as vice president. Upon graduating from Fifth Form in 2014, he was the recipient of the Kevin Alcock Award for Most Outstanding Key Clubber in the graduating class. Outside of clubs, he served as sub-prefect in 5th form, a prefect in lower 6, and one of 12 senior prefects in upper 6. In upper 6, he also received awards including Happy Helper, Excellent Attendance and Punctuality, and Most Chivalrous. In his final year at Campion and his first year at UWI, he organized a team of friends to support the Jamaica Cancer Society's annual fundraiser Relay for Life. Shortly after entry into UWI in 2016, Stefan was awarded the GraceKennedy Foundation Douglas Orain Scholarship. He has served as a course representative for critical reading and writing and a member of the Biochemistry Committee. His academic performance was acknowledged in 2017 when he was placed on the Dean's Honor Roll in the Faculty of Science and Technology. In the future, he wishes to go into the rapidly growing field of genomics, where he hopes to develop and utilize computer science methods to study genetic information, particularly in bacteria, viruses, and humans. A self-proclaimed nerd, Stefan has a myriad of interests and hobbies. When he's not doing schoolwork or sleeping, you can surely find him reading about climate change, antibiotic resistance, or anything science-related. Existential philosophy, psychology, or catching up on his many crime-legal drama series and novels. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me to welcome our guest speaker, Stefan Peterson.
Dr. Fred Kennedy, Chairman of the GraceKennedy Foundation, Mrs. Caroline Mahfood, Executive Director, James Moss Solomon and Catherine Kennedy, Directors of the GraceKennedy Foundation, Mr. Chaluk Richards, Director of the GraceKennedy Foundation, Mrs. Gail Moss Solomon, General Counsel and Chief Corporate Secretary of the GraceKennedy Group, Mrs. Naomi Holness, Chief HR Officer, Mr. Edward Alexander, son of the late Carlton Alexander, parents, guardians, well-wishers, specially invited guests, and most importantly, Bursary awardees, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Honestly, I was tempted to say my fellow awardees. It has been barely 2 years since I was last in your position. I can bet that like me those years ago, you're feeling a bit nervous because after the speech you'll be called up to accept your award. I remember seeing the various guest speakers over the years and marveling at how successful and sophisticated they were. Ladies and gentlemen, to be frank, I do not consider myself to be a sophisticated person. When I got the call and was asked to be guest speaker, my response was 5 seconds of complete silence, followed by the only word I could form, wow. Despite my initial speechlessness, I humbly accepted the opportunity to speak to you as someone who has been in your exact position, and it is indeed my honor to be your guest speaker. We are all here today to acknowledge the achievements of you, the awardees. Though you are being granted a bursary, do not see it as just money. While it is indeed a valuable financial contribution, I implore you to consider it a challenge. By awarding you this bursary, the foundation is saying, we believe you have and will continue to excel in everything you do. The challenge, therefore, is to meet and exceed their expectations. Carlton Alexander, it's not just the title of your bursary award. In fact, the name alone carries much more significance than you are probably aware of. Dr. the Honorable Selwyn Carlton Alexander was born in Montego Bay in 1916 and moved to Kingston at age 10. He attended Jamaica College on a government scholarship where he excelled at sports and academics. His time at JC was cut short in 1933, 1 year after the passing of his father, when he took over as a breadwinner of his family. That year, at age 16, he started working at GraceKennedy as a stock clerk, earning only £2 a week, of which he kept a fifth for himself and used the rest to help with family expenses. Over the years, he rose through the ranks at the company, eventually becoming group chairman and managing director. An astute businessman, he served in a number of positions at various organizations, including founding president of the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, president of the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce, chairman of the board of Radio Jamaica, and many others. With all these positions, as well as being awarded Commander of the Order of Distinction, Order of Jamaica, and an honorary law degree, you may be wondering, how could someone go from not finishing high school to achieving so much? While I cannot tell you everything he did, I can say without a doubt that he was a dedicated worker. In his early days at GraceKennedy, Dr. Alexander felt that the company did not truly know its customers and believed that they could not do well without this knowledge. He started going downtown with the company's salesmen on Sundays so that he could talk to the retailers and wholesalers and listen to their conversations. This he did not for pay or recognition, but to make the most of his time at the company and to improve its services. Now, awardees, the fact that you're here today means that you're all, without a doubt, hard workers. In fact, give yourself a round of applause right now. Though you are from different grade levels, the concept of doing well is roughly the same. You set a goal and you work towards it, all the while remaining focused. Ensure that the goals you set are your own, and you're not just working toward them because your parents say you should, or because all your friends are doing it. While pursuing them, try to stay motivated. Find the people who support you and keep them close. If you find yourself losing confidence, energy, or motivation, remind yourself of what you are trying to achieve and why. Try not to limit yourself in what you do. Strive to be like Dr. Alexander, who once said that one of his philosophies in life was to learn the other man's job so that if the position became vacant, he could fill it. If your aim is to be an engineer, consider learning another language. If you want to become a writer, maybe you could learn graphic design. You never know when these additional skills may prove helpful or even completely necessary. He also believed that businesses had a social responsibility and an obligation to the community in which it was located. Dr. Alexander embodied his belief in giving back, being a member of the Rotary Club of Kingston, chairman of the Jamaica College School Board, and president of the JC Old Boys Association. At GraceKennedy, he was instrumental in shaping the company into the one we see today, which places such a strong emphasis on community development. This can be seen through their numerous scholarships and bursaries, summer employment programs, public lecture series, and a plethora of other outreach activities. So too, awardees, should you all aim to know what's happening in your schools, communities, clubs, churches and religious groups, country, the world, and given the rate things are going with space travel, maybe even the whole solar system. Don't just be aware, but be a part. Join clubs and be active members vying for leadership positions. Be a part of your school council. If you can sing, maybe you could join the choir. Put yourself in a position to give back to the institutions which have shaped you into who you are today and who you will be tomorrow. Consider joining service clubs like Key Club or Interact, Circle K or Rotaract, but don't think that service clubs are the only way to give back. Any regular club or even a group of friends can go out and lend a hand, whether it is visiting a golden age or children's home, making donations to charities like the Angels of Love, or attending the beach cleanups like the one happening on September 15. If you hear all of this and think that outreach seems daunting, take it from me, it rarely ever is. Go with friends or with family. Take your friends' family and your family friends. You may develop a passion for it and even learn something about yourself in the process. As Carlton Alexander Bursary awardees, you have a responsibility to try and emulate him with the aim of improving lives. If all of us here today were to be even 1% of the amazing person Carlton Alexander was, Jamaica and the world at large would be a much better place. After all, in the words of English novelist and poet George Eliot, who, by the way, was a woman writing under a pen name, what do we live for if it is not to make life less difficult for each other? I thank you.
I think we could just go home now, don't you? So inspiring. Thank you so much, Stefan. I think there's a picture you're supposed to put up on the screen for me, please. That's him when he when he started in 2009. How things have changed. Eileen, you look exactly the same, though. But he really epitomizes what we are looking for in a Carlton Alexander awardee. Stefan is such a rounded young man. He's interested in such a wide variety of topics, and he's just. And then on top of that all, he's an extremely hard worker. I may get this wrong, but I think his GPA now is 4.4. What is it? 4.1? 4.04. Who does that in biochemistry at university? It's impressive. So, Stefan, we want to thank you again for being our guest speaker. It's much more, I think, inspiring when you hear from your own, somebody your age, and not just somebody older who's kind of saying, you should do this. He's a really good example of what you can aim for. And so I'd like you to come forward, and I'm going to ask Catherine Kennedy to make a presentation to you. Oh, but the image, do you want them to come up? Or the reflection of the thing is on his face. So you want to come forward? Or do you want to come right here. We can do it after. We'll just do this picture after, okay? All right. That's fine? I just wanted to give you a brief overview, which I do every year, of kind of how the program went and what happened with the selections this year. We just, for the persons who are on our tertiary program, they actually have to reapply. When you finish up to grade 11, you reapply. No, grade 13, you reapply to be on the tertiary program for us. And when we were interviewing them, we asked them questions like, what do you know about GraceKennedy? Who's the CEO? What do you know about Carlton Alexander? And it's kind of interesting to see that the younger generation may not have the kind of knowledge that they need to have. But I think, Stefan, you really helped to make it very clear what an inspiring person Carlton Alexander is and what an honor it is to be receiving a bursary in his name. Overall this year, 20 students will be receiving bursaries. We selected 7 persons as new awardees, 4 secondary and 3 tertiary. However, one of those students in the tertiary program actually had to defer her start of university because, for some strange reason, all the students that applied for medicine this year, this young lady has all ones in her cape, but all the students that applied for medicine this year have gotten on the non-sponsored program instead of the sponsored program, which is, the non-sponsored program is over $3 million a year, so she's deferring. So she's not going to be on the program this year. So we're down to only 2 university awardees for this year's program. So in addition to that, there are 7 students who are no longer on the program for a variety of reasons. Some graduated, some their parents are no longer with the company, and 2 are actually removed from the program because their grades were not acceptable. So that's why it's really important for you to maintain at least a B average to stay on the program, which, to be very honest with you, most of you really do accomplish that pretty comfortably. There's one other student, Arlene Mears' son, Malik Anderson, who did exceptionally well in his CAPE exams, but he did so well, and because he's a KC Pass student, and we have a scholarship for KC Pass students called the Bruce Rickard Scholarship, we've pulled him from this program, and he's going to be interviewed for that particular scholarship. So that's why he's not on the program. When we do our interviews, the panel really agonizes. It's hard to decide and to choose the best students. And Dion Roden, Dion, are you here? She's outside. Dion Roden of our corporate communications officer, and Carleen Burgess, who's our corporate HR officer, is on the panel with me, and they're really, really supportive. Here's Dion. Come on in, Dion. It is extremely challenging to select the students, but Dion really, really plays a big role, and so does Carleen. Carleen is not here with us. She's already left work, but Dion, we want to thank you, and we have a little present, a little token to present to you, and Mr. Moss. Jimmy Moss Solomon, I'm going to ask you to present it to her.
Thank you very much for the care that you have given.
Great. Thanks, Dion. Okay, so unfortunately, much of Marjorie Godfrey's time, everybody knows Marjorie. She's the person that communicates with you all through the year. A lot of her time is spent emailing or calling the parents to say, please send me your report. Please send me the report. Because really, we are not to renew any of you unless we get the reports, right? We have to assess that. A good example is we called one parent, and when we found out, when we asked her for her daughter's report from university, we found out her daughter had not attended university. She had had to defer. but you understand what I'm saying? So we need that information, and we cannot renew you unless we get that information. So I'm begging this year that Marjorie will just send that one email out at the end of each term, and the reports will come flowing in. Right? Everybody? Yes? Great. And the truth is, you really want to do this because the bursaries are good. For high school students, it's $50,000. For sixth formers, it's $80,000, and for university students, it's $100,000. So let's not give up on that if we can avoid it. But at the end of the day, as you will hear in a minute as we hand out the awards, the students have done amazingly well. I am so impressed, so proud of all of you. And I know you're going to continue to do incredibly well as you go into this new school year. So I'm looking forward to seeing all the results. And at the end of the day, I want to thank our foundation team. I want to thank Marjorie and Crystal Gale. They work super hard on this program and all the programs we have with the foundation. I also want to thank Akeem Kitson. I don't know, he disappeared. But he's actually one of our Rafael Diaz scholars. He's our 2017 Rafael Diaz scholar, and he's interning with us for the summer and helping us with our scholarship program, and he has done a fantastic job. And I don't know why he's not in the room, but you can clap him anyway. So congratulations to the parents, to the students, and continue to make us proud. At this time, we're going to actually hand out the awards, and I'm going to share a little bit with you. Oh, yes. Branding, branding. So I'm going to share a little bit about each student as they come forward. So the first student is Lorianne Atkinsall and her mom, Anne Jean Atkinsall, if she can come forward. And I'm going to ask Teddy if you can hand out these awards for us, please. These are our secondary renewals. Great. So Lorianne placed second in her class and received first class honors. That means you have a 90 average and above. She had 12 A's on her report this year. And she's a homework monitor for her class. She plays badminton, she swims, and she's going to be moving on to grade 9. Congrats. Campion College, Campion College. Sorry. Next up is Gabrielle Finley and her father, Edward Finley. And Gabrielle, as you know, introduced our guest speaker. She is at Wolmer's Girls. She was awarded the Blue Certificate, Upper Division at Wolmer's. She was the most outstanding student in what's PO? PO is what? Oh, it's POA. Principles of Accounts. It had PO and POA, Principles of Accounts. She was the devotion monitress and a member of the volleyball team, and she's now going into grade 11 to do her CSEC exams. So. Okay, next. Next up, Ashley Ann Nelson and Grace Roman Nelson. I'm sorry, I should have told you the companies. So Lorianne is GK General, Edward is Grace Foods and Services, and this is Dairy Industries. Ashley Ann just completed her lower sixth studies at Campion and received second class honors. She's an attendance monitor, prefect, member of the Sixth Form Association. She also took part in the school's Big Brother Sister program, and she received 3 1s and a 2 in her CAPE exams. Congratulations. Okay, the next student is actually not here. That's Alexander Williams. His mom is Janet Williams from AIB. And again, he placed second in his class with an average of 94. I don't know how you get an average of 94 and come second. That just doesn't even make sense. But anyway, Campion. Yeah. So he's a sub-prefect member of the engineering club, photography club. He got 8 1s in his CSEC exams all with a straight A profile as well. So I'm sorry that they can't be here with us today. Next up, woohoo, Joanna Martinez and Marjorie Godfrey. Woo! I'm biased, sorry. GK Cup. So Joanna has obtained excellent grades at Wolmer's Girls. She's a recipient of Blue Reports Upper Division for outstanding performance for academics and exemplary conduct. She placed third in her Christmas exams and first in her end-of-year exams. She's also an active member of the Key Club. Congrats, Joanna. All right, next up, Santi McGowan, Nikisha Daly from Hilo. Is Santi here? No. Okay. All right. So she attends Dunoon Technical High School. She plays second in her class. She's part of the Tourism Action Club, Girl Guides, and Debating Society, and she's just moving on to grade 11. And I know she's going to do great as she approaches those exams as well. Next up, Matthew West and Norval West. Now, Matthew is an example of what happens on this program. They start at the picture I showed you of Stefan, and then all of a sudden they grow. Like, Norval, you have to look up to your son now. It's crazy. All right, so Matthew, and by the way, Matthew's just going into grade 9. He received second-class honors. He held the position of homework monitor. He's also active in the school's co-curricular activities. Along with swimming, he's part of the Debating Society, Octagon Club, Tourism Action Club. And he's at Campion. Congrats. And Norval is very involved in the HSA, which we really need more men involved in these organizations with the schools. All right, so that's it. Thank you, Teddy. Appreciate it. Gail, I'm going to ask you to come forward. And next up is Brianna Anderson, who is not here, but her dad is here, Patrick. Brianna has just completed grade 10 at Immaculate Conception High. I know, Catherine. She continues to represent her school and her country in swimming with outstanding results, representing Jamaica in Florida, where her relay team set a new national age group record. Listen closely. At the Carifta Games, again making a national age group record and winning a bronze and 2 golds. She was then selected to represent Jamaica at the Central American and Caribbean swim meet, but she had to forego it because she was selected to participate in a 3-year program between Jamaica and China. And the reason she's not here is because she's in China training right now, and she won't be back until September 6th, I think, right? The 5th. So congratulations. Fantastic. Okay, next up, Britannia Choi and Paula Knight. All right, there you are. Great. Britannia is a prefect at Immaculate, and she's part of the Angels of Love Club, the German Club, the Science Club, and is treasurer of the Glee Club. She just completed her CAPE Unit 1 exams, where she got all her subjects and received distinctions in 2 of them, and she now moves up to upper 6 at Immaculate. Congratulations. Okay. Next up, Khalil Walker and Radcliffe Walker from I'm not telling you the names of the companies. Paula is at GKF Financial Group. No. Money Services. And Radcliffe is with Dairy. No, you're not at Dairy. You're at Meats. This is old. Yeah. Head of Meats. Okay. Khalil is a prefect at Manchester High School and a member of the Principals Distinction Club. Khalil received 11 ones in his CSEC examinations, all with a straight A profile. Incredible. He's coming for you. Congratulations. Next up, Jonathan Thompson and Robert Thompson, AIB. And Robert went to school with me. Yeah. All right, Jonathan placed 5th in his grade 9 class at Campion College. He received a 2nd class honors for the summer term and 1st class honors in the Easter term. His last report boasts 8 A's. He's an assembly monitor, a member of the Gourmet Club, and plays football. He has to play football with his dad. Not optional. And next up is Janae Shelton, Samwell Shelton's son. Janae, GFS as well. And Janai is a 6th form student at Campion College. He received, listen to this, 5 ones in his CAPE examinations, 4 of which were straight A profiles as well. And that's how he has been consistently through high school. So you remember how Stefan said, set your sights, set your goals. So you see, like somebody like Janai. You need to, those of you younger, you need to try and see how you're going to surpass him, right? Okay, thank you so much. Yes, the last person would have been Grace Burnett's daughter, Toby Burnett, but she's actually traveling tomorrow and was unable to make it here today, Toby. So, and Toby is at the University of Waterloo. She's studying, I think, computer engineering. This year, it's a co-op program, so she's going to be in university for 5 years. But the co-op program allows you to intern as part of that program, and she actually worked at Mona Geoinformatics for a few months this year as well. So she's an outstanding student. Okay, next up, Sir Fred, can you come forward for me, please? Our new awardees, and we're going to start with our secondary awardees, new. First up is Leah Dickinson, Andrea Dickinson's daughter from Dairy Industries. Yay. So Leah is a brand new first former. Oh gosh, she's in our uniform too. That's too cute. Leah was a member of the Stella Maris swim team and dance troupe. She has a GSAT average of 95.8 and was also awarded National GSAT Awards from the Ministry of Education. And clearly you know which school she'll be attending in September. Immaculate. No. Smile. Congratulations. Awesome. Okay, next up is Ayanna Peterson, Eileen Davis's daughter, the other half of Stefan there, or kind of. GK Corporate. So Ayanna is the secretary of the photography club and the member of the Key Club at Campion College. She is also the assistant environmental monitor in her class, and she maintained an excellent terms average in second form, where she received several A's throughout the term as well. Great. All right. Next up, Chanel Williams, and her mom is Suzette Brown, First Global Bank. Great. So she maintained an 80 average and received 7 merits in grade 8 at Immaculate. She's also a member of the Sign Language Club at her school. Excellent. Okay, next up is Tariq Hay and Wayne Hay from AIB. Woo! All right, so Tariq is about to enter grade 8 at Kingston College. He already received 5 merits and 2 Helen Douglas Awards for outstanding academic achievement and exemplary conduct. He placed first in his class in his first year at KC. He also participated in the 2018 Interform Quiz Competition and is a member of the Under 14 basketball team. Yeah. All right, so we're going to do our new tertiary. And the first person up is Akeem Gordon, Colin Gordon's son. But Dorrit, you have to join us, right? Where's Dorrit? Come on up. Dorrit works at H&L, but is a very GraceKennedy person. So she has to be here for this. So Akeem leaves Woolmer's Boys School with Frank. Are you here still? Oh, Frank. Okay. Woolmer's Boys with 2 1s and 6 2s at the CSEC level and a 1 and 3 2s at the Cape level. Akeem was a captain of the Woolmer's Taekwondo team and a member of the Jamaican Taekwondo team. He was also a part of Key Club, Interact Club, was a peer mathematics tutor to 5th form students. He was also house captain at his church group, and he'll now be studying biochemistry at UWI, and he definitely needs to speak with you, Stefan. I already want to connect the two of you. Yeah. Yes, you're welcome. So, as I'd mentioned, we had Peter J Shelley, who was awarded one of the bursaries, but she's deferring from university. But she's really an outstanding student, as I mentioned to you. She has 9 1s at the CSEC level and 4 1s at the Cape level, and she's been on our program from 4 or 5 years ago. So unfortunately, I assume she will be reapplying next year to join us again. Next up, Brittany Pinedo, and her mom is Natalie Talong. Is that how you pronounce it? Talange. Let me get to my French. So Brittany is studying nursing at NCU, where she's a lab instructor for freshmen and a sophomore anatomy and psychology. Freshmen, I don't understand what I have here. Anyway, she has a GPA of 3.17, and I will tell you this. When I interviewed her, I was blown away because I had not met somebody with so much passion in a long time. She is so passionate about nursing. You know how a lot of people do nursing and then say they're just doing it so they can go away? She wants to build Jamaica. She wants to be the head of the Nursing Association. Awesome young lady. So that's it. Thank you. So that's it for our awardees. Now I'm going to invite J Shelton to come forward, a pronounce it right this time. Right? Janai Shelton. And I know Janai, Janai Shelton to come forward. He is an upper sixth student at Campion College, and he's going to do the vote of thanks.
Senator Don Webby, Group CEO of GraceKennedy Limited, represented by Mrs. Gail Moss Solomon, Dr. Fred Kennedy, Chairman, Grace Kennedy Foundation, family of the late Carlton Alexander, executive members of the Foundation Board, parents, awardees, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. As you heard before, I am Janai Shelton, a sixth form at Campion College, pursuing 5 CAPE Level 2 subjects. I feel honored to have been given this opportunity to address you all and to be receiving this bursary for the second time. I want to express my sincere appreciation for this bursary, which has greatly assisted my parents in covering my tuition for the past 2 years. It is truly a relief to be able to focus on doing my best with this major expense being cared for by the Carlton Alexander Bursary, and I am sure that the awardees would readily agree with me. I would like to thank Dr. Fred Kennedy for his speech earlier. Many persons talk of protecting the environment, but it's great to see one of our own, a Jamaican company, take the lead with the Clean Kingston project. That is one we should all support in word and deed. Yes, action is much more important than talk. This means a lot to me. Family values were impressed upon us by Mrs. Gail Moss Solomon. These family values have been a hallmark of my home, instilled by my father and my mother. It really works, trust me. This family time allows us to talk, really talk about our day, anything that might be troubling us. I would also like to thank Marjorie Godfrey, Crystal Gail Williams, Nordine Burke, and Caroline Mahfood. These people comprise the foundation staff and the board of the foundation, and without these wonderful, hardworking people, this ceremony would not take place, as there would be no scholarship to receive. We are truly grateful for their efforts to make all of this possible. I would also like to thank our guest speaker, Mr. Stefan Peterson, for taking the time out to talk to us. He gave us many invaluable pieces of advice, such as that the Carlton Alexander Bursary is a challenge, one that we should strive to achieve. Also the concept of doing well, which is to set a goal and work towards them. And also that versatility is one that we should try to accomplish, that learning multiple skills is a good idea, worth definite serious thoughts. Hopefully, I can be in your shoes one day to be guest speaker and to be just as sophisticated as you are. My fellow recipients of the 2018 Carlton Alexander Memorial Bursary Award, you have done exceptionally well this year. In fact, we can give ourselves a pat on the back. We deserve it. However, as we pat ourselves on the back, please remember this quote from Will Rogers: "Don't let yesterday take up too much of today." And if I may add, because you'll miss out on having a better tomorrow. So I implore you, let's not rest on our laurels, but let's continue to work hard to improve on what we have already achieved. Yes, Carlton Alexander used hard work, dedication, and tenacity, and which allowed him to rise to the top as chairman. So we too, through hard work, can achieve our dreams.
Very impressive, very impressive. Excellent job. So we're going to close now. We have some delicious refreshments for you, and as usual, we are going to do the pictures. So we're going to have the big group shot first, and then Akeem. This is Akeem, who I was saying is our Raphael Diaz scholar, who was out of the room earlier. You can give him a clap now that he's back. Right, so Akeem is actually going to coordinate all the pictures for us. He'll come forward and he'll tell you when to come forward. We're going to do the group shot of everybody, and then a group shot of the first time awardees, and then after that by company with your other team members that are here with you. Okay, thank you very much, and I'll see you next year.